It's the dream of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny. But for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams. Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.
The champion!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. A sport always displays the beauty and the brutality in one single moment. There is beauty in brutality as well, like South Africa pulverizing Bangladesh last night in Mumbai, India. There was beauty in that annihilation, just like the beauty of Afghanistan's victory over Pakistan the previous night, and the brutality of it too for a team like Pakistan that's struggling at the Cricket World Cup. That's what is lined up for you today, the beauty of the South African batting brigade and the brutality of the Pakistan loss. Just what is going on with this outfit? Also lined up on the show, what to expect and watch out for in the new NBA season, and who are some of the stars who will prove to be game changers. All that and more coming up later on in the show. But before that, let's take a look at the headlines from the world of sports in Sports 360. Let's begin with football. Arsenal beat Sevilla 2-1 at the UEFA Champions League match yesterday. Gabriel Martinelli scored for Arsenal 3 minutes into first half injury time. In the second half, Gabriel Jesus scored the second goal for the Gunners. In an attempted fight back, Sevilla came back with one goal from Nemanja Gudali. German giants Bayern Munich had a 3-1 dominating win over Galatasaray in yesterday's match. Bayern earned an early lead on a goal in just the 8th minute. Galatasaray scored on a penalty to equalize the scores in the first half itself. Striker Harry Kane scored a goal for Bayern to give them the lead in the second half. In the 79th minute, Bayern scored the third goal to seal the win. Spanish side Real Madrid beat Portuguese club Braga 2-1 in the Champions League match. Rodrigo scored for Real in the 16th minute of the match. In the second half, Jude Bellingham made it 2-0 in favour of Real Madrid. Braga attempted a comeback as Alvaro Halo scored in the 63rd minute, but host Braga were not able to score any more goals as they conceded defeat. In badminton, Indian shuttler PV Sindhu has advanced to the round of 16 at the French Open. She beat world number 7 Gregoria Tunjung after losing the first game. Sindhu ended up winning the next two, 21-18, 21-15. She will next be seen in action tomorrow. Veteran all-rounder Angelo Matthews is all set to join the Sri Lankan playing 11 at the World Cup. He will replace injured pacer Matisha Patirana. Patirana suffered a shoulder injury and has already missed the games against Australia and Netherlands. Matthews will be seen in action as Sri Lanka gets ready to play England in the Indian city of Bengaluru. We're starting the show with the Cricket World Cup. It sprung some surprises. Few of the teams we termed as favourites, like defending champions England, are struggling at the bottom of the points table. And some teams whom we thought might choke have taken a chokehold of all of the opponents. I'm talking about South Africa. The squad may have had a blip in the tournament when they lost to Netherlands, and many of us probably thought the past may have just caught up. With this side, once again, the past of stumbling in World Cup events, of faltering at the big stage. But they have proved us wrong, and they are doing so in an emphatic manner of stamping their class and authority on every team that they are facing, like they did with Bangladesh last night. They first reduced the Bangladesh bowling unit to a club side. The assault was devastating, and there was a barrage of boundaries and sixes. Then they wreaked havoc on the batting, with only Mahmudullah standing his ground, waging a lone battle in a fight that had already a winner. There is always a lot of talk about South Africa's bowlers. The cricket nation boasts of a long line of searing fast bowlers who have been instrumental in their team's rise in the sport, like Sean Pollock, Alan Donald, Lance Klusener, Dale Steyn, Mackay Ntini, Jacques Kallis, Morne Morkel, to now Kagiso Rabada, Andrik Nokia. The list is envious and long. But this new South African outfit is redefining that trend. This year and at this World Cup, they have made their impact with the bat. The batters have stood up and said, we can outbat any side. South Africa has 4 380-plus totals in ODIs in 2023, the joint most by any team in a calendar year, equaling the 4 that they themselves had in 2015. South Africa has 7 consecutive 300-plus totals batting first in ODIs, longest streak for any team. As South Africa's scoring rate in the death overs in ODIs in 2023 is 10.58, highest run rate by any side in a calendar year since 2002 for a minimum of 10 innings. Now, the strategy is simple: bat the opposition out of the contest and then bring in the intimidating Rabada and crew to finish off the job. And that's what numbers confirm too. Now, this is the list of teams that win matches batting first and with margins of more than 100 runs. South Africa tops that list there for the year 2023. The other teams who are there with the margin of more than 100 plus wins for that calendar year: Pakistan, Sri Lanka, South Africa themselves in the year 2015 and Australia in 2007. Basically what this says is that absolutely no team has come close to South Africa's record this year of batting the opposition out of the game. So who are the destroyers-in-chief of this mission? We will have to put this man's name up first. The biggest question every cricketer always asks himself or herself is just, when do you call it quits? How do you know this should be your last? Because the ultimate dream is to go out on a high. The perfect adieu and goodbye. And what a script that is proving to be for Quinton de Kock. He announced that this will be his last ODI World Cup. He's retiring from this format, and boy, is he making absolutely sure that he will dominate this World Cup and make it his very own. 174 against Bangladesh last night was the highest score by a wicketkeeper in men's ODI World Cup, beating Adam Gilchrist's 149 in 2007. He has the most 150 plus scores in ODIs by a wicketkeeper, and it's also the second highest for a South African batter in this format. Hashim Amla's 4 is the highest. He's unstoppable, and when it comes to ODI World Cups especially. Top individual scores for South Africa here at the World Cup alone. You have Gary Kirsten there sitting at the top, unbeaten, 188 in 1996, still stands, but Quinton has snuck up into second position with that knock last night, overtaking the likes of A.B. de Villiers and Hashim Amla. And when we interacted with Gary Kirsten himself just a few days ago, he spoke about the very powerful South African batting lineup and Quinton de Kock in particular.
Yeah, I think they're probably one batter short in my view. Like, they do rely on the top 6 to be firing. Janssen for me is, I'm not sure he's ready to be a number 7, maybe a number 8. But saying that, I think that batting lineup, if it gets going, you know, they're capable of doing a lot of damage to teams because they're all quality batsmen and they score quickly. So my guess would be that, you know, there's no reason why they can't, not all of them, but certainly a few of them have big tournaments. Quinton's already shown that. I mean, they've got a massive game on Saturday against England. You know, England have to win it. South Africa don't have to win it, but they don't want to go into a place where they start losing those kind of games. So it's a massive game against 2 quality teams, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, how those top players stand up in that situation, because I think that's what's going to be required.
Well, he of course is referring to the last match, and true to his words, they lived up to it and pulverized England. And his character too, which I'm speaking of Quinton de Kock, is quite like his batting, feisty and daunting. Quinton has taken centre stage in many controversies, from tiffs in the dressing room to refusing to kneel in a 2021 match in support of the Black Lives Matter movement that South Africa cricket team endorsed, to not informing his skipper Themba Bavuma about retiring from Test cricket. Quinton is surely a handful, but somehow this combination is working. The team is rallying together to produce quality cricket and results and keeping the personalities out of it. Keeping some of the differences aside as well, if the top order is all about the fire, the middle order with Henrik Klassen and company is all about the calm. Known as the MS Dhoni of South Africa, Klassen has worked on his patience while out in the middle, and that's proving to be a deadly combination to his batting flair. We chatted with Henrik as well before the tournament began about his batting and how being calm out there is crucial for him.
I would say definitely I'm calm. I think MS is a very special calm. Doesn't look like he gets faced by any pressure situation. Pressure still gets to us. We're normal human beings. But I think in my career, I'm definitely calm. I like those pressure situations. And pressure will always find you where I bat. So in the middle order, there's always pressure, different situations. And it's a great challenge, to be fair. Every day is a new day and a new challenge.
And we have just highlighted the two top scorers for South Africa in the tournament so far. If you scratch the surface, Rassie van der Dussen, Aiden Markram, David Miller, all led ably by Themba Bavuma to pad up the intimidating batting lineup. The best in this World Cup so far. There's this long association of aliens being little green men. Well, going by the way they are hitting some of these out of the park, these green men are surely out of this world. And speaking of aliens, the next group of green men we have been alienating themselves from the concept of winning itself. Has Pakistan truly forgotten how to win matches? Or are they just going through a rough World Cup? They started off the tournament in style as they beat Sri Lanka and Netherlands without breaking a sweat. Now, from getting warm welcomes at their venues to the crowds in Hyderabad cheering on the Shaheens, Pakistan enjoyed a wonderful start. Until they faced India in Ahmedabad. The men in blue handed Pakistan a convincing defeat and a boisterous crowd broke their spirit. Pakistan suffered their first turning point in their World Cup journey, which left the team shattered. Since the Ahmedabad match, Pakistan have lost their next two games against an on-the-rebound Australia side and a fiery young Afghanistan. And the way the Pakistan team has reacted to the losses tells a lot about their current cricket affairs. First, Pakistan coach Mickey Arthur said that his team didn't feel welcomed in India. Arthur said that one of the reasons behind Pakistan's demotivating loss was, of course, that a popular patriotic song called Dil Dil Pakistan was not played during the game against India. A team losing a game because of a song not being played, slightly absurd, but we agree that the crowd was definitely one-sided. But hang with us here because things take an even more interesting turn. Pakistan openers have been playing safe in the first power play. It took the men in green 1,169 deliveries to smash a six in the first power play. When asked what took them so long, here's what they had to say.
Maybe we want to eat more proteins and not that much carbs, but it's just that there's nothing we want to talk about it. It's just we really don't feel it if we are not hitting six or not four. It's just that what are we doing for the team, and if we are winning matches, that's going to, unfortunately, last two matches we didn't play well and we accept it, but it's just that we have still 5 matches, inshallah, then we will go to semi-final, but it's just that how you play, how you prepare, and that's really mattered.
The blame is not on their batting skills or playing slow. Instead, the blame is shifted to the food they're getting during the World Cup, which they say is rich in carbs and not protein. When professional teams struggle in one aspect of the game, they often compensate from the other aspects to even out their performance. If batters score less runs, it is natural for a high-spirited team to put up splendid bowling and fielding efforts to make up for that. But that is something Pakistan team has missed doing. They had set a respectable target of 283 runs for Afghanistan. All they had to do was rely on their wicket takers to get the job done. But it was Pakistan's fielding that left them down. Misfields cost extra singles. There were half-hearted attempts to save boundaries. And too many times the bowlers yelled catch it, only to have the fielder make no attempt. The body language of Pakistani players had spoken. They were in no mood to play competitive cricket. It got so unbearable that at one point, Coach Arthur was seen storming out of the dugout. This was the first time Pakistan had lost to Afghanistan in an ODI, and that too at the World Cup. Fans and former players were hurt, and they didn't hold back.
हम चीखे मार रहे हैं शो पे 3 हफ्ते से कि 2 साल से इनका फिटनेस टेस्ट नहीं हुआ. अब मैं लड़कों के इंडिविजुअल नाम लूँ, इतने उनके मुंह हुए हैं. लगता है रोज कोई 8-8 किलो कढ़ाई खाते ने, निहारियाँ खाते ने. भाई कोई टेस्ट भी तो होना चाहिए. अब in professionally you guys are getting paid, playing for your country, and there has to be a certain criteria. I'm with Misbah on that when he was coach. He had that criteria. Players hated him, but it worked.
Ouch, that ought to hurt. But here's how some of the other former cricketers reacted after the loss to Afghanistan. Pakistan's legendary pace bowler Shoaib Akhtar took a dig at the team's selectors. He emphasized that the selectors have been making the same mistakes over and over again.
पाकिस्तान जो आज पहुंचा है जिस हालात में और क्रिकेट टीम जहां खड़ी है वो डायरेक्ट रिफ्लेक्शन है of their own choices that they have made for the last 20-30 years. Keep on bringing the same people, keep on doing the same mistakes, and you'll get the same kind of results in the end of the day.
There is definitely an outcry against the current Pakistan side. That goes without saying. Even Pakistan Cricket Board's chief, Zaka Ashraf, has started consulting veterans over the current state of affairs. And some of them want Captain Babar Azam sacked. A typical response to get the captain removed when teams struggle. Forgetting the old saying that we've heard for years now, the captain is as good as his or her side. Some veterans are saying that Babar has learned nothing in his 4 years of captaincy, also raising questions on his batting in crucial matches. Now, it is true that Babar has not found the middle of the bat this tournament. In the 5 matches that he has played in this tournament so far, he has scored at an average of just over 30. His highest score of 74 runs came against Afghanistan, and he has scored just 157 runs in this tournament. And that's definitely not something you would expect from the current world #1 ODI batter. Babar's performance with the Willow has no flair at the World Cup, and the high hopes that Pakistan had from him seem to be slowly fading. They're calling for a replacement, not the sort of noise or surround sound you want to hear while the tournament is still very much on. Do Babar and his team have it in them to drown all this out and make a comeback, as it has in the past with Imran's famous cornered tigers phrase? Or is this Pakistan team spirit already broken? From the Cricket World Cup in India, we want to take you to the other side of the world. The season of layups, three-pointers and dunks has begun. That's right, the basketball courts are open and the National Basketball Association, or the NBA season, has kicked off. This is the 78th season of NBA, and this year will be the first time that NBA matches will be played in venues apart from America and Canada. Some matches will be played in Mexico City and Paris. Last year was a thrilling season, with the Denver Nuggets winning their first ever NBA title in franchise history. What does this year have in store for us, and what does it mean? Let's find out.
The NBA season of 2023-2024 has begun, and from day one, the season looks to be a promising one. Last season's winner, the Denver Nuggets, were up against the Los Angeles Lakers, and the game was a nail-biter. Despite LeBron James leading from the front and scoring 21 points, the Lakers were no match for the Nuggets. The season opener turned out to be almost like a repeat of last season's Western Conference Finals.
Nah, I mean, gotta be better, obviously. When we play them, and we had our chances in the West Conference Finals, but that's over and done with. So, tonight is the only thing that was on our mind, and we didn't make enough plays offensively or defensively for stretches, long periods of time to be able to close the games or to win. So, give credit where credit is due to them.
The Nuggets trounced the Lakers in the season opener, and it was thanks to one player in particular, Nikola Jokic. Jokic is a player from Serbia and was instrumental in the first title victory for the Nuggets last year. And it looks like his magical touch has carried forward to this year too. The 6'11" center scored 29 points, 13 rebounds and 11 assists, a triple-double, all to guide the Nuggets to a win. The second match was another thriller. The Phoenix Suns beat the Golden Warriors by just 4 points. And it was an emotional game. The Warriors held a special ceremony for former player Kevin Durant. Durant was part of the Warriors from 2016 to 2019 and joined the Brooklyn Nets after that, and now he's signed with the Phoenix Suns. It's great to see that a team that let go of their player organized a tribute to celebrate his journey.
It's always good to be recognized for the work you put in, so it was exciting to see people that I haven't seen in a while, some familiar faces, and I feel like the fan base here got nothing but love and respect for me as an individual player and as a person, and that's all I can ask for.
After the tribute, the battle was on. The Suns narrowly beat the Warriors, kicking off the NBA season in style. So who are the players to watch out for next season? Let's have a look. Let's start with the veterans. There are two names that are known worldwide, LeBron James and Steph Curry. James has been playing professional basketball for the last 2 decades. Last year, he scored at an average of over 28 points per game. He had at least 8 rebounds and 6 assists every match. He's won 4 NBA titles in the past in 2012, 2013, 2016 and 2020. He started his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers and has transitioned to the Los Angeles Lakers. Then comes Steph Curry, the star shooter for the Golden State Warriors. He's known for his no-look three-pointers. Curry scored at an average of over 29 points last year. He had scored over 6 rebounds and assists in each game, and like LeBron, Curry too has 4 titles. But these are the big names of basketball. There are 2 players that have the potential to steal the show this year. Let's start with Giannis Antetokounmpo, popularly called the Greek Freak from the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis had a high scoring last season. He even averaged above 11 rebounds per game, but he has some work to do in creating more assists for his teammates. The second player to watch out for is the star of the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. Jokic had a decent shooting season last year, and he made up for it with his rebounds and assists. He came up big in the finals last year, and the Nuggets will expect nothing less from him this year too. Both Giannis and Nikola are emerging youngsters. They have a lot of responsibility to shoulder and are doing it quite well. And they're going to be up against the greats like LeBron James and Steph Curry. So, will the veterans dominate this year with their experience, or will the young guns carve their own path to glory?
And that almost does it here on Firstpost. But before we go, yes, it's time for Last Serve. Now, when I say Athens and sports, what comes to your mind? Olympics, of course, the birthplace of Olympics, sure. Grecian athletes, Greek gods, mythology. Well, it's also underwater sports now. Take a look. Quite the skirmish there, but that wraps it up here tonight on Firstpost. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching us. That's all there is in time for we have today, but of course keep following our coverage of the Cup of Dreams of the Cricket World Cup as we continue that through the entire World Cup. For now though, it's bye-bye. I'll see you again tomorrow.